Hello, Binglathon and Sunshine community viewers. We are back for Division 3 finals between MrYhatoh and gamestabled. I'm Deathline. I'm joined by a very rare appearance in the commentary booth. Hello, Tober.
Sup. Also, they're starting.
Also, they're starting. Game 2, Row Control. MrYhatoh won the first game, so if he wins this match, he is the victor. Otherwise, they will be playing Game 3 right after this one. So let's get into the card.
All right.
Wow, there are two really sucky goals in row one. That's called 506 hit.
Yeah.
15 to the final also kind of sucks though, in general. Unless you have NPCs and
But
or
we
fruit
also got
ladies.
4 reds.
Okay, so
We got 3 and 4 hiddens as well. So, like,
all right.
5 red, 6 hiddens,
Yeah,
have some juice.
not too bad anymore. We got 8 episode shines. That's always nice. 1 episode 8 shine down in row 5.
An iconic duo.
Bianca Shadow Mario. I mean, there's reason to go to Deep Bianca with this. You have Bianca for Harvest. 4 reds. Yeah.
Yeah, Bianco
There's some juice
Hundo on
here.
there. Although I'm not seeing, like, Shines and
Bianca.
Secrets or Hundo in a secret, so.
Yeah, Bianca.
Or really anything Hundo related besides that one, so.
Yeah, just 50
Never
from
mind.
2 and Bianca hundreds. Kind of weak, but not terrible, I guess, considering the rest of that row is kind of split up.
Yeah.
Right? Episode
That
8.
Bianco 100, I feel like, is just a row tiebreaker if it's 2-2.
Yeah. Or it's like you really need to combo that with 50 from 2.
Yeah.
For row 4.
Or it's just like you really don't want to, like, just episode 8 just is not in your game plan, so you rush the Bianco secure to not have to do
Oh man,
episode
yeah,
8 later.
speaking of row 4, like 50 from 2, 2 from 5, and 2 rockets is all really nice, and then you get stuck with Delfino rocket or 80 totals. That's
Yeah.
pretty long term if that row gets contested. Pin of 5, Pianta hidden, Serena shines, Noki blues, 12 and 16, 15 gelato.
I will say, as unpleasant as Delfino Rocket is, like, Deep Penna has some juice. We got, a couple red skulls. We got Pinna 5 from the back on here. We got an episode 8 on here.
Yeah.
Hiddens.
Hiddens, reds, yeah. Not terrible if you want to
Yeah.
suffer through some deep pinna.
Yeah, the
I
problem
say
is
that
that
knowing.
there's not a whole lot in Pinna before then. Like, I don't know. Obviously, there's hidden, so you can just do the 2,
Yeah.
2 from 5 as well. But, like, not a whole lot of obvious immediate Pinna
Yeah.
value. You're not seeing, like,
Physical
links.
clicks.
You're not seeing 16 Pinna, blues. No boss goals?
No boss goals. Though you do have 50, 60, and 80 totals. This card is just really just progression stuff without like being direct about it.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I hate 50 and 60 totals.
Aside
Because
from
it's
blues.
like you gotta really commit to blues for it to pay off. But then, like, hey, if you do, you got 2 goals basically back to back.
Yeah.
But there aren't a whole lot
Especially.
of, like, intermediate blues goals. Like, row 1 has 15 Delfinos, which is 12
That's
Nokis,
gross.
which is good if you get to Noki.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's also
Especially
15
with
gelato I
16.
missed. Okay, so there's
Especially with
some.
16, yeah. This
Oh,
card's
yeah,
just
16
kind of
hard too.
hard. It's like hiddens, reds, and blues, and then just like having progress without actually showing you have progress literally anywhere other than Bianco and Pinna. It's going to be really hard to know where your opponent is based off just clicks. You gotta be some psychic to know. I don't even see what route to go for here, honestly. Like, Bianco is really safe to start, but I don't know if that's necessarily the best thing.
Yeah, I don't think Bianco's setup is a bad play. I mean, it's rarely a bad play, but certainly not on this card.
Yeah, honestly, like Bianca for Hoverless into 3R and then like Pachinko into Gelato 1R.
Hmm.
with 15 gelato blues is not like a terrible start, I suppose, if you can win all that. For red, 15 gelato sets you up for Bianco, sets you up better for hiddens and reds and all that fun stuff. You get some blues out of it. So
Yeah, I mean, given that 20% of the goals on the card are X hiddens and X reds, then I feel like just staying in contention for those is not a bad priority.
mhm. Yeah, kind of a hard card, all things considered. Yeah, honestly, I probably would just play it safe and just start Bianco. And then maybe go to Gelato or maybe go to Penna since Penna's pretty well built with blues and reds and
Hmm.
general 2 from 5 access. Rico doesn't look great here aside from 2 rockets and 2 from 5, though you could also just easily go to Noki for your second rocket with
Yeah,
Bianco as your first.
2 from 5, and it's worth doing if you want to win to 4 hiddens.
Mhm.
You'd want to do like Bianco, Rico, and then double gelato.
Yeah, Serena has some value with 4 Serena on the card. Um,
Not a whole lot else though.
Pianta, not really great either, other than just some fast episode shines, and there is Pianta hidden if row 2 is contested pretty badly.
Yo, okay, hear me out. 8 episode shines, 1 episode 8 shine, 1 Pianta hidden shine, and a rocket unlock if you just do a Pianta
You
IW.
just, yeah, grind it. Not terrible setup. You can get, and then it gives you access to Pianta 5R and Pianta 8, which is, I mean, that's 2 reds right there, and then you get Delfino for 2 more reds, which would just instantly win you row 2, but I don't know if
Okay,
that's the best play.
okay, so like I said the Pianta IW as a meme, but actually like it basically wins you row 2. It sets you up to contest for hiddens, which maybe row 1? Uh,
Yeah, you'd have to like hard commit row 4, 1, and 2, though, I think. Maybe yeah, no, row 5 is a Bianco goal.
yeah, it might not literally be a 9 goal route, but it's very 9 goal-ish in spirit if you commit to Pianta, and also neither of them are committing to Pianta, which is
Yeah,
probably the wiser move.
I'm sure JJ would make it work, but
Yeah.
no, Bianco, definitely safe. Both players getting jail blue. Yeah, we're just gonna see probably like 10 minutes of Bianco into Gelato and just
Now
Penna
that's my
probably.
kind of bingo match. I've heard while I've been gone this season, there's been a lot of Bianco bashing, and I'm not here for it.
Yeah, Bianco's just generally good.
I love me some early Bianco.
Especially with goals like boss rematch and 7 birds. It's been making Deep Bianco a bit better in this meta.
Also, do we know like the relative amount of delay between the runners? Probably not, since it was like a miracle we just got both of them on stream. But
I think game usually plays on some delay, but I also think Gala also plays on a little bit of delay. So
yeah, I'm just wondering, is game actually like multiple seconds ahead into Bianco, or is it just a delay thing?
I think it's both.
Yeah. Well, I guess there isn't a whole lot to immediately race to besides like Bianco for hoverless, so probably not a big deal.
Yara bonked off scumbag movement apparently.
Oh, that
That
do be
does
why it's a scam.
bleed some seconds. Shout out
Most
to
people who
Yada's
do it do
very
not save time with it. Just saying.
Yada's very bright gameplay.
You can always recognize the auto game feed from the nuclear tinted Bianco hills.
Game getting kind of robbed on windmill wall kicks and then spin jumping in some angle I've never seen before.
He's just practicing his spin puts.
Oh my god. This is 90%. I would have reset. Side
This was
flipping
bingo. I
here
might have
is
reset.
so hard. Well, Yato now with like a 10, 15-second lead,
Yeah,
something like that.
pretty good. So yeah, they both start up Bianco. Crazy. Did they both get the M? I saw Game got the M. I had a lot of time to notice that.
I guess we will find out shortly.
Because yeah, as we were saying, blues on the card, like, not bad.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely worth still, just picking up what's in front of you at least, not completely just foregoing all the blues. Like on some cards in some row control games, since row control inherently nerfs blues pretty badly, but some row control cards are pretty good with blues.
I mean, just like because of the nature of row control, like blues tend to be more polarized. They're rarely okay. They're usually like pretty good or pretty bad,
Hmm.
or at the very least, maybe not necessarily pretty bad, but pretty counterable.
Yeah. Yeah. Same shines, same blues. Giotto with a 10-second lead to Bianca for Heverless, which is not a gimme, since gotta get through Bianca 3, which is also not a gimme, as we've seen in the last few matches and over the course of the season. And Bianca 4, you gotta hit some GWKs and not drop inputs, which is difficult. What do you do as a player if you lose Bianca 4 Heverless?
Yeah, I was just trying to think that. I mean, it's not the worst goal to lose because like we were
Right?
saying, like it's there are a lot of ways you can hit a 2-2 tie in row 5, I think.
Hmm. You just
That
like,
ends up getting decided by their Bianco hundreds or episode 8 or some less pleasant goal.
do I rush reds from there still? I think I might rush reds instead of open gelato. But I still want to contest hiddens. I don't know. This is hard. This card's really hard.
Yeah, honestly, if like
Oh,
oh
auto hover. No. He
oh
tapped
that
the hover
sucks.
nozzle. Game now has a huge lead.
Yeah, I mean honestly, so Yato's behind enough now. I was just thinking if you lose like Bianca for Harvest by enough time, you might just want to go do the hidden.
Yeah, and then just rush to gelato for 3 hiddens.
Yeah.
You still get red's progress out of that.
Yeah, you'll still have 2 reds. You can go do Pachinko for a third, come back, do Bianca 4 for real for a fourth. Oh, no, 3 isn't on here, so you don't do Pachinko until probably your fourth.
Yeah. Okay, game not having the best Bianca 4 hoverless, so if this 7th coin, 8th coin shine grab stuff doesn't go perfectly, it'd still very well be autos.
Oh,
Oh, I dislike this strat so much.
yeah. It
That
always looks sick when you get it, though, but I'm just like, man, I just want a GWK there.
that wall kick is like, it's probably still more frames than the GWK, but it still feels like it's way harder to do.
I don't know. I feel like it's easier to react to GWK just because, I mean, I'm biased and I've practiced them a bunch
Yeah.
and I've never tried that wall kick in my life.
So, game stable with the first click of the match, Bianca for hoverless. Yato very sad he lost that goal because he just tapped the hover nozzle
Yeah.
initially.
Part of me wonders if you like hover like that, maybe you just do Bianco 4 or just pivot to the hidden if you're
Yeah,
assuming
instead of
like,
exit
I mean,
area.
because obviously you don't know that you're racing to the goal. But if you assume you are, then you could just maybe just instead of exiting, you can just sort of play a wait and see approach, do the hidden,
Mhm.
And if
'Cause then
Bianco 4
you
is still up, then you can go back.
you don't lose 20 seconds for just exit area re-enter.
Exactly.
Yep. Game back in for probably the hidden as well as Yato, unless we see a potential deep Bianco early, which is not a terrible plan either. It still unlocks.
All right, are we gonna see the
Yeah, I mean, it
rocket?
gets
We
you
are.
Ep shines. It gets you blues. It gets you access to Bianca Shadow Mario in episode 8, so it's not terrible, honestly, as a counter. And it still gives you access to, another hidden red, that kind of stuff. But probably just
Yeah.
entering 5 for the easy blues into 3R.
All right, Yato notably stopping for some blues on the way to the hidden. Now that he knows he's sort of behind in probably the early reds to hiddens race, trying
Mhm.
to sort of pivot to something else a little bit while trying to stay in the mix.
Yeah. Both players notably picking up the rocket nozzle, tying that progress, and that progress is going to sit for quite some time unless they opt to go to Rico before Noki.
Yeah, I actually think it might be a good idea for Yato to go to Rico after this, because that way he can sort of win to rockets, win to maybe 4 hiddens. And if not, then at least just, get some blues.
For sure. And it helps you with 2 from 5 as well.
Yeah, helps for 2 from 5. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with early Rico here. Of course, he might just be seeing 15 Gelato blues on the card and wants to go to Gelato for that reason, because, Gelato not as good a world for blues, but when there's a goal in the card, it's hard to ignore.
Mhm. Game tabled off to the races to open Gelato Beach. Yato finishing up his Bianca 3 reds with the rocket. We'll see where he opts to go. But yeah, the one of the biggest things with this card, especially with how little information you're getting out of clicks, is you got to be really careful to not trail your opponent.
Yeah, that's basically the worst thing you can do is just follow, your opponent and just get sniped everything and get very little value for basically the same effort.
Mhm.
Which is why I think like there was definitely some sauce in Rico for Yato, but he's going to Gelato as well. And I think, as long as he doesn't do whatever game's about to do, he'll probably,
Yeah.
be fine.
Game might be swayed and not touch the blues since he won the goal, so he might just focus on shines, but he also might go, 15 Gelato blues, that's not possible. And just go for it right off the bat. Uh, deny the
Yeah.
access.
And I mean, considering how Game had those windmill wall kicks, he might be thinking, did Yato just rush Bianco hidden and is trying to rush 3 hiddens?
Mhm.
But he's rushing the hidden himself, so it does not look
Okay.
like that's his thought process.
All right, now will Yano pick up 15 Gelato Blues first, or will he try to split that goal alongside 3 hiddens? Since you can do kind of a creative, just pick up a pick up a couple blues, grab the sand hidden, pick up a couple blues, do Gelato 1, pick up a couple blues, do Gelato 1R.
He's going for the secret and the enemy. Didn't stop for the shine sprites though. I guess you can get him in 1R if you forget about him.
Mhm.
So yeah, it could just be like a light eye on hiddens, but with an emphasis on reds as well.
Mhm. Yano doing Gelato 1 first makes him lose the all important, like, 2 seconds of a shine scroll. So,
No, like maybe 0.2 seconds.
totally 2 seconds of a shine scroll. It's so negligible, but it's just kind of funny.
But it always feels bad to shine scroll when you know you didn't need to.
Yeah, because the risk is then you don't scroll back and then you get stuck with a nice 20-second cutscene in Gelato 2,
True.
which, I mean, you can back up with the sand hidden if you didn't get that first, but it still kind of sucks to worry about that twice instead of once. Game stable, finishing up Gelato 1.
You're not even that
Not too
far
far
behind
behind.
Yato in terms of progress to 1R, and just mostly re-entering Gelato behind. Okay, now Yato's getting some blues. Not a bad play, because now, if he sees that he loses 3 hiddens or something, he can just finish up his blues and just go do 1R and still have just as many reds as game does.
Mhm. Might enter 1R.
Oh, or
Yeah.
he's just, okay, he's just getting the easy Sandshines and doing it now. That's fine too.
We'll see if Yato opts to re-enter, because he'll see the 3 hiddens click and go, okay, Bianco to Gelato, but you didn't click 15 Gelatos. Are you going to re-enter for 15 blues now, or are you just going to leave? And that's going to be a big question for Yato to ask and answer himself.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming Yato is just thinking, all right, game is going to win to something in Gelato. And then so he's just trying to be lightly set up for whichever one game doesn't take.
Mm-hmm.
Which is good. That's sort of avoiding the whole, thing about just trailing,
Yeah.
getting sniped everything that we are talking about before.
Yeah, even if Yato, loses hiddens and reds, as long as he still keeps up a good lead with blues, it's not impossible to work around hiddens and reds, though it is kind of difficult, but yeah, it's still not impossible for sure. Three hiddens clicked off by gamestabled.
Makes sense. You really don't want to delay that when you have no information over 20 minutes in.
And yeah, it looks like Yato's gonna leave.
The thing is, though,
Now
is I do
Yato,
wonder if 3 hiddens is maybe a bit of an overrated thing to secure, given the rest of row 3. It's like, you either need to commit to deep Bianco, or like deepish Pinna, or deep Serena.
yeah, so now Yato wins to 4 reds with this.
Yes, he does.
Though it would have been a race had game actually gone straight to Pachinko, but he's now opening Rico, which is fine.
I mean, if you're game, does row 2 really appeal to you right now if you've already won the early sort of Bianca Vorhabilis and you're head to hiddens right now?
True. It's really hard for game to know what the correct call is because you don't know what Yato's been doing. You don't know if you just completely just sniping him really hard right now, or he's just hiding this insane Bianco play or Piazza play, and you're just about to get destroyed
Yeah, I mean, of
in some
course, if
other
Yato
aspect.
insta-clicks 4 reds, then at your game, you're like, ah, okay, I did just snipe him for a little while. Cool.
Ooh, okay. So game opened Rico into Pachinko, so he has that option. Now Yato finishing up Pachinko. And we'll get the click first unless something very untimely happens. Do not curse me, game. Okay.
Okay,
So
yeah, it
four
does not
reds.
delay.
Yep. Definitely the correct call to not delay. You can tell that Game Stable probably did this very same route, just a little bit faster. Uh, as a game, you're probably a little bit sad, but you're like, all right, whatever. I'll still finish the shine for a 4th red, and then I have Rico access. So,
Yeah.
whoop-de-doo.
I mean, you're disappointed you lose the goal, especially after, having a Pachinko like this, and you're like, why am I here?
Mm-hmm.
But I think the information is good compensation.
Yato as well, now opening up Rico.
Also, now game is that this is his 9th shine.
Yes.
So yeah, I might just want to do like Underbell into Pinna, get started on Pinna progress, get your
Mm-hmm.
5th red.
Yeah, Eps would be pretty important for game as well to help
Oh yeah,
contest
episodes
row
too.
2.
Yeah, maybe you enter Rico, because Rico's better Eps. It's got the second rocket.
Both players are currently sitting at 4 Eps. Game just
Game
has
with
one more
some
hidden.
absolute struggles of a hover slide.
Sometimes it's the easiest tech, and sometimes it's just impossible.
Some of the Delfino surfaces really were just not meant to be slid upon. Also, they've now both entered Rico. Game with a small
So,
lead. Like, it's kind of wild how
Ooh,
After everything, they're
50,
almost
50
synced up.
early 50 from 2?
Looks like.
Since there's no other
That's
reason to
cute.
be picking up
Yeah.
coins. Now, that being said, I kind of would have liked this better in 3
Yeah.
or 2. Probably 3 with the rocket.
I mean, if you're doing it in 1, that says to me I don't plan on going much further than Rico right now.
Yeah.
Could also just say to me I'm too scared of Rico 250.
I just think, like, I mean, yeah, both goals are probably important, but, like, as game, if I was in game's position, I win beyond 4 heroes and 3 hiddens, and then I lose 4 reds when I'm in Pachinko. And then I go, okay, I probably have sniped YaToh to what I just, like, we just had the same route at the beginning, so
Mm-hmm.
we had the same progress, so he probably also has that rocket, so.
Yeah, it feels a little weird to cede so much ground for the sake of half of one goal.
Especially so early in the match, right? Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
only 25 minutes in. There's no, you have Bianco hundreds and 50 from 2, like, that's it. So.
Did YaToh get both gelato hiddens?
Nope.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
But can go back after 2H with 15 and gelato for 4 hiddens.
All right, nice wrap for game, ending in 52 coins.
But YaToh will probably go to 3 before 2H and get the rocket, if I had to guess.
Yeah, it's a lot better for YaToh considering that he's got one less hidden. Uh, Rico 3 with the rocket would be his 7th episode.
Yeah, and then you're just a Rika 4 away, which is just a relatively fast shine altogether.
Yeah, I mean the one deterrence is what does Rico 4 get you besides securing 8 episodes?
Absolutely nothing.
Shine count, I guess.
Shine count. It gets you 1 shine closer to Rico 6, which is a red coin.
Oh, and also Rico 8, which is an episode 8 shine.
That is
Forehead.
true. And another hidden plus red
Yeah.
in
Another
Rico
open
4.
hidden,
So.
which I guess, 6 hiddens on the card is fine. But I don't know. I think I have other shines I would prefer for my 6th hidden.
Yeah. So game opting to just get 50 from Rico 1 and is now going to go off to Pinna, or at least open it. YaToh finishing up Rico 2. Has 10 shines as well, has a 1 episode shine lead, whereas game has a 1 hidden lead. Both players tied at 4 reds apiece. So 5 reds up in row 1, still very contestable.
Oh, game not actually going
Oh,
into Pinna,
nope.
though.
Thought about it. Now wants to go back to Rico.
I question if that was worth doing. Maybe it's just sort of a waiting scouting play, being like, if I lose to everything in Rico, at least I am a Pinna cutscene ahead to Pinna stuff.
YaToh did not like that crane cycle.
That's a bit of a swift crane right there. Is YaToh also going for coins? YaToh is also going for coins. Oh no, he's just going for the rocket. With coins?
Bitcoins? Eyes mood?
I mean,
See,
oh,
yeah, this is
he's going for coins.
this is the exact play I wanted game to do, but y'all is doing it instead.
Okay, but why did neither of them just do it in Rico 2, right?
Yeah, I mean that's why I said Rico 2 with or Rico 3 with 50.
Like, I understand that, missing blooper coins a little bit scary, but it's so fast.
I don't know. This isn't a relatively quick 50 coins.
Of course, neither was games, so.
Yeah, that is true.
and Yato is getting a lot more blues during this.
Yep. So we'll see if game opts to try and contest Rico 3 and 4 for Eps, or if he'll just jump right back into Rico 2H for his fourth hidden down in row 5, and then that just makes Yato not want to touch that ever again.
Okay, so he's going for
Yeah.
hiddens, but I was about to say, wait, they're actually tied in episodes now. Game could have actually taken back the episodes lead if he just hard committed Rico 3.
Yeah, that might have been honestly a better position. I mean, it's kind of risky though because you see two rockets, so you know you're down like half a Rico 2 and a Rico
Yeah,
3. But
like that's a call easy to make when we know what's going on, but
yeah,
could have been saucy.
yeah, if game just like, all right, I'm calling your bluff and you're gonna go pick up coins with this. Yato's at 49.
No, no, Yato.
Nope. Yeah, he is at 49. That doesn't count. It's for 50 from 2.
Wow. I mean, he got blues out of it.
You did get
That's
blues out of it,
unfortunate though.
but that was like a minute and a half, right? Spend
Yeah,
picking up coins that
I think he
didn't
just made the call that he needs to defend episodes.
didn't amount to anything ultimately.
Yeah, he's going back in. It's probably for Rico 4.
Now, will he do 50 from Rico 4?
That would be woke. No, I like no. There's no way. Like you only finish Rico 3 at 49 coins because you are rushing 8 episodes.
But now you see 4 hiddens clicked and you go, that's kind of tragic.
And given how game took his time with Rico 150, like maybe you wonder, was that Rico or Pinna?
Yeah.
And
Who?
game
Tabled off to Serena?
Russian unique bosses.
On
Cool.
a card with no bosses.
With no bosses.
Playing his playing his game 1 route that he should have played in game 1 and game 2.
Okay, so this is like a clear play at trying to, shore up row 3. All right.
The thing is, though, I still would have. Okay, yeah, there's 8 Fs. Yeah, I would prefer Pinna
Yeah.
anyways over Serena since it gets you.
Yeah, Pinna does basically the
Pinna
same thing as
and
Serena and then like has extra
reds.
benefits.
Has much easier reds and hiddens access, and it's just generally faster. Be interesting to
So
see if Yato commits to 4R. No, okay. Yeah, 5 reds is not really that goal, or it's not in a position where it's like you want to go do it right now. It's like I'll probably just pick this up as I get it now at this point since I've rushed the reds.
yeah, so Yato is still only at 2 hiddens, right? He only did Rico 1 through 4.
Yes. And it has Bianco hidden or Bianco 3R and Gelato 1R as his 2 hiddens. So does have 3 hiddens open to him.
Yeah.
If he wants to still try and contest 6 hiddens, which may become an issue if he loses 5 reds with Pinna 2R or Pinna 3.
Oh, he's not even going for Pinna. He's going for 5 reds.
Okay. Yeah, gonna commit it.
All right. I respect that.
Yeah, it works out if you do Delfino Blues into 15, 60 totals. You don't even have to worry about 6 hiddens or 12 Noki, which game would probably want 12 Noki with 16 Noki down in row 5, and he has 2 goals out of that, so. And there's also 9 Delfino in row 2, which just this works towards you closing out that section as well.
Yeah. There is, and like there is value in that, but I think if you're Yato, 15 Gelato Blues is what you really want to close out the row with.
Oh yeah, for sure. But in the event that game just, for whatever reason, gets 15 July Blues, and this is not a terrible backup.
And I will say, doing the Delfino Shine does sort of put 2 from 5 a little bit of a riskier spot. They both have 2 from 3 right now, and game is working towards 2 from a 4th. Yato gets absolutely scanned by the spam spray, missing the pokey.
Yeah, and honestly, Pinna's just even better for the fact that you get Yoshi on your way to Pinna 5 from the back Harvest, which then you don't have to deal with whenevers for Serena, but also if you can build your way up to 30 totals, 3 shines, then you have that Delphino rocket access, which seems kind of irritating for row 4 if you, for whatever reason, don't win 50 from 2 and 2 from 5, which, and you already lost 2 rockets as a game, so.
Yeah, and also pin a 5 from the back means you are 3 shines away from episode 8. Now, does that matter too much to Game, who has a pretty big row 5 lead right now? Probably not, but it's a
Probably
thing.
not. Yeah. Game getting mole skipped right now.
Oh,
Just getting absolutely bodied. He's
oh
going
my guy,
a
you're
little
too
early.
early. Oh, Yato
There you
gets
go.
jailed
Oh,
again
yep.
by
Jelly
the
jail.
jelly jail.
This time he saved, has a memory card, so can save himself from 30 seconds of pain and suffering. Took the memory card out. So yeah, Gato trying to just pick up some Delfino blues along the way towards Pinna now that he has 5 reds. Game with 2 from 4 now.
Oh dang, shine count is also pretty even. Game has 14 shines, but much fewer blues than Yato, and Yato has 13 and a little over 20 blues.
Game thinking. He's like, all right, I lost 5 reds, but I have 3 and 4 hidden, so I probably don't need to do the hidden, so I'll work on Pinna 3 for shine progress towards 4 and 5.
Oh, Yato having a rough
Yato,
time
yeah,
with Jelly Skip 2.
threw that one a little off-timed, maybe too high on the roof.
Yeah, it could have been too high. Like Mario did sort of get the pushback you're looking for.
Yeah. So that was both jelly skips, and then is now off to Gelato. Probably going to go finish up 15 from Gelato in his endeavor towards 50 totals.
All right, Game actually just straight up ignoring the blue in the cage. So at this point, it seems like he is just
Yeah, making that call to just play only shines on this card.
trying to play around blues, which is a little bit interesting because it's like obviously he's written off row 2 at this point, but also
For
it's
sure.
kind of hard to win row 1 without blues, given that 3 of the goals are blues related. Now obviously you don't need to go for blues to win stuff like 12 Noki blues, and that might be his plan.
Yeah, if I think Game sees this as a if I can just win row 3, 4, and 5, I don't really need to touch blues whatsoever.
Yeah, I just don't
Right,
like
because
narrowing your win con to just those 3 rows quite at this point on this card.
it's a little scary, but
Yeah.
that's what I see. If you don't pick up blues at this point, then you're probably just looking at that section of rows.
I do think it'd be really cool to see Game do a 50 from Pinna when he enters Pinna 5. That'd be pretty cute.
So Yado having a fun time in Gelato. Game continuing his Pinna adventure towards these annoying turtles. Looking to do a nice safe 2-cycle.
All right. Oh,
Yado,
Yato on the coin grind.
yep,
Okay, I
looking
say
to get
grind
50
loosely.
here.
Could have won
Now,
50 from 2 if he had gotten one more Enrico 3.
yeah, if he clicks this, this is going to be tragic. Since
Oh
he
yeah,
very quickly did not pick up 50 in Rico and has not picked up 50 anywhere else.
yeah. I think Yato knows not to click here, but I will be ready on the unclick just in case.
So 50,
Yeah, he
no
knows.
click. So either Yado knows or he thinks he's delaying it. Yada also going to pick up the hidden.
$54 coins. Let's go.
Oh, thinking about it. Need some more blues for 15 from Gelato. Didn't quite catch how many was on that Z menu, but Yada knows. Meanwhile, game, pin of 5.
Oh, yes,
Needs
we're
to be
seeing it.
50 from here. This would be 50 from 2. Need to be careful to not hover in the outside portion since that counts for the goal.
I mean, given how games hover slides have gone today, I don't think there's much risk of that. Oh, we get the nice little 5 coins in the ground. Which is actually pretty good because they don't scatter as much.
Yada at 13, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, 50 from 2 from Yato, I think would have been...
Oh.
Oh, wait, oh no, yeah, Yato won 2 rockets, so actually that would have been huge. Never mind, I lied.
Okay. Picking up Yoshi and just avoided a ton of blues. Or a ton of coins in front of him. What is game What was that? Dude, he had like 15 coins in front of him, and then he opted to get the coconut for Yoshi.
Oh, did he hover?
Oh, I think he tapped the hover nozzle there.
Oh.
So he at least got the 50 from 2.
Yeah.
And takes a tragic 30-second exit area, which balances out Yato's tragic exit area earlier this match for Hoverless. Yato, meanwhile, finishing up 15 from Gelato, sees the 50 from 2, is going to delay that Blues goal at least, and is now very sad that he did not pick up one more coin in Rico 3, since that would have put him in a very strong position.
Yeah, I definitely think Yato would be straight up favored to win if he had managed to win that goal, but it's hard to know that at the time. And, there was definitely a risk that he was behind 8 episodes, which would have made Row 2 a lot trickier than it currently is for him.
Currently at 10 coins in the Plaza. For 15, you do only need one Fruit Lady. For 15, game getting bloodied. Unless you do the really hard and risky Turbo Blue flip.
So like, at this point, if you're game, does just doing Deep Bianco just win? I guess you need 2 from 5 first. You need 2 from 5.
Yeah, and well, yeah, because I mean we know that he doesn't have Pinna, which game doesn't know that Yato doesn't have Pinna, but as long as he does 2 from 5 pre Deep Bianco, and then picks up Delfino shines along the way, since he has 17 and needs to find 13 more shines to get to Delfino Rocket, versus Yato at like, I don't know, 15 and 50 blues, 40 blues, yeah. But yeah, game also in a pretty good position as long as he cleans up row 4. Little delay click, just enough to save warp out of Pinna. Yato now working on Coconut Lady for 15 from Delfino. Game probably going to just jump into Serena here for 2 from 5.
I think I'd rather just see him go to Pianta.
I would agree. Serena probably safer, but Pianta also just faster for 2 from 5.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, like for Serena, obviously a lot safer, much less scary than going for Bianco SM. But like Bianco SM would just be so powerful.
Yeah, because then you get the choice of hundreds or Bianco 8 or going to Noki, which I mean at that point you probably should just do Bianco 8.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking game's plan here is 2 from 5, and then like depending on what Yato does in the meantime, he can either like hard commit to Bianco if it looks like it's still up, or if he does, then he can just do 4 Serena Shines and then win with like, I don't know, Pinna 8 or something.
Yeah. Yado entering Pinna, double clicking off 15 Gelato and 15 Delfino. So currently 1-0 for Yado. First row claimed. No contention in that row whatsoever. Now, if Yado, honestly, at this point in the match, it kind of is looking like if Yado steals Delfino Rocket, then Yado wins this match.
Yeah. Like, despite what Falcon said at the beginning, this is actually shaping up to look very 9-goalish. Because it looks like they're not really crossing paths at all, besides in row 4. Like, Yado will probably click 50 blues, just in case game was going for blues.
Mhm.
But, like, they are really not fighting each other anywhere besides row 4.
So, game currently with a 4-shine lead to Delfino Rocket by virtue of having Pinna done. But aside, if you do not include Pinna, then it's actually fairly even since Yado has blues and game does not, and game is also doing very slow shines.
Yeah, but also, Mecha not the fastest. Like,
Yeah.
thing is, if game just does Serena 2, he could just
Right,
do,
grind
like,
Delfinos.
yeah, just do straight up Delfino rushing. Stop for Noki Blues just to... honestly, that wouldn't even slow Yato down at all, just because he needs 60 totals to secure row 1.
Yeah.
So maybe don't stop for Noki Blues. I lied.
You would just make Yado slightly more annoyed and have to spend like another minute picking up 10 blues.
Pretty much.
Yado at 15 shines and 40 blues. Game stabled at
18.
18 shines and 6 blues. So Yado with a very slight lead in shine count if you include blues.
Literally 1 shine.
Which game can also just pick up 4 very easy blues here in Serena 2 if he so chooses.
True. Yeah, I think it'd be prudent to at least try to get your count up to 10. But also, I think your game 2 from 5 is the top priority right now.
Yeah, for sure. It would have been very interesting had Game picked up blues in Rico and Pinna. Because Yato's 2 from 5 is... He's about to hit 2 from 4.
Yeah. They literally have the same... I mean, if you just give Yato Pinna right now, they have the exact same levels. Game just has Serena right now.
So those blues probably would have balanced out shine count, but it definitely would have helped Game significantly harder. Even if he doesn't necessarily win 50 or 60 or 80, blues just make getting to 30 shines so much easier, even if they are a commitment in the long term.
In general, yes, but they've done enough stuff at this point. I'm not sure they're even that worth it.
Yeah.
It's not like Yadi has Yadi. It's not like Yato has 40 super quick blues he can just bust out. He's got a lot of park blues available, but I don't know.
I mean, 30 of his blues were from Gelato and Delfino, so he has 15-ish from elsewhere.
Yato's actually, I guess neither of them really care about Noki at this point. Like Yato might want Noki blues just to sort of hedge on row 1 a little bit. You could even do Goldberg to work your way towards everything in row 1.
So, game with the 2 from 5, Bianco, Rico, Gelato, Pinna, and Serena. Has 2 goals in 3 rows. Just needs to figure out a way to close them all out together. Looking for...
Yato tried to ball out for getting the M before doing Pinna 3. Didn't quite make it, but he'll get these blues.
Yeah, game opting for Serena
the
4. Close out row 3 at least. Or 4 from Serena, excuse me. And then, yeah, Yato finishing up Pinna 3 with some blues towards 50 totals. Which 50 totals won't matter, but will be on your way towards 60 and 80, which is going to be huge contention for row 4. Which is, at this point, the only row that matters.
Yep.
game at 20 shines. Yato at 17 with some change.
Yeah, basically almost at 22. Which, you know, now that he only needs one more pin to shine, that's kind of important. Oh, game going to Noki.
Okay, so I'm gonna hedge some of his value in row 3 and 5.
Yeah, this actually isn't even the word, like, obviously it all comes down to Delfino Rocket, but if you're game, there is really an appealing way for you to close out row 5 right now. So this might just be a way to sort of like stop Yato if he's not going for a lot of blues
Yeah,
in row 1, and then also just sort of stop worrying about row 5, which is, you know, not in the greatest. It's not like it's 2-0, but it's not in the safest spot.
yeah. If you get 12 Noki blues, then you can kind of use that click as just a little bit of bait to make Yato go. Just even have that like little hint of panic, like, oh no, I need to get 60, otherwise I'm screwed.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that's potentially a minute in your favor as game stable with that click, even though it doesn't earn you a whole ton since you weren't headed to it anyways, but you can make Yato just panic a little bit with his blues value.
Also, this is definitely a route for 16 Noki blues.
Oh, almost
Oh,
got punching
oh.
bagged. Yato getting kind of bullied by the turtles. Didn't quite see if that was a 2-cycle, but it looks like it. Yep. This slope here in Noki is absolutely abysmal to run up.
Yep. Okay, so he got 4 blues. Now he's just going to do a standard Noki 12. Although he's going to need an ocean blue.
Yeah, one of these ocean blues, unfortunately.
So maybe not quite a standard Noki 12.
Which I think why it's a little bit better to go get that boat blue and then go to up the right side for 16 from Noki.
Yeah, generally, I mean, so I have not been keeping most up to date on bingo trends, so maybe this is outdated info. But back in my day, you usually wanted to start on this side for Noki 12, or get 13, and then just do 3 on the
On the
other
right
side.
side.
Game might just
Yeah.
want Goldbird though, since you know it's pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's a hidden, which doesn't really matter at this point, but it's not nothing.
Yeah. If for whatever reason Yata never does 60 totals, then I mean, having 6 hiddens clicked is part of your win con, I suppose. This is good for game since he kind of can balance out some of the blues. Ooh, Yata going to Pianta.
Yeah, fast shines, blues he hasn't gotten yet.
Also opened up Yoshi after finishing up 4. Pretty clean from gamestabled. Should have 16 any second now.
I think he's at 15. I could be wrong.
Has an amount of blues.
He definitely doesn't have 16 if he's trying to finish right now.
Goldbird.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
He didn't get this
needs
guy.
this one.
Oh, no.
Goodbye.
Oh, tragic.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Yada's end having a little bit of a rough Pianta 1, getting kind of trolled by the chain chomps, but
And honestly, like, this is pretty costly for both of them. I like that game is not even clicking 12 Noki blues
yeah,
as if he did 5 gelato shines on this card.
Yeah, he's not even bothering to try and feign or even just click it.
That feels a little troll given that Yato hasn't actually shown 50 totals yet, but
yeah, there's
whatever.
50 totals.
Yeah, there it is now.
I still think it's worth clicking, even if it ultimately nets you nothing. It still nets you a time kind of spent, I guess. I don't know. It means nothing, so.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's just funny to me. Anyway, Yato with basically still a one-shine lead. Did Yato do pin a 4?
Yes. I believe he
Okay.
opened Yoshi pre-Pianta, and
Oh,
then
okay. Even better. Yeah, so it's literally just
opened,
a straight up one-shine lead at this point.
um,
They should really
game.
just rush Delfino's IMO.
Yeah. Thinking about it. Oh,
Tr-
okay. You could have just traded in at that point since you're already
Trading,
there, and then
trading gets you closer to Turbo, which gets you like underbell and shit.
oh no, wants to
No?
go finish Serena.
Okay.
Is worried.
Understandable, but it does make me a smidge sad.
Meanwhile, Yato.
Like, if you are in the boathouse, you should just trade.
In Pianta 2, picking up handful of blues, picking up, I guess, a somewhat quick shine. About a minute and a half for a shine. Yeah, this is even weirder from game because like there was an excuse that he could have made. He's like, oh, I'll pick up 8 more blues and Serena 4 and then trade in 30 and double or at least have that force Serena click and
I
then
don't
an
think that's
extra
worth his
shine.
time right now. I think
It still would
besides
not have
Serena
been
4,
worth
which he needs for 03, he should just be doing Delfino shines.
Yeah, because like you see
Both
50
of them.
totals. You see 50 totals, so now it's like you're kind of just hoping Yato doesn't have Delfino Rocket progress when you're at
Yeah.
21 shines and 20 blues.
To be fair, like Yato put a non-insignificant amount of time getting that
Okay.
rocket progress, and he could have been spending that time on Serena, right?
Yep. That is true.
But also, like, Bianco SM exists still. I don't know.
Game taking a death in Serena 4 and losing the cycle second time around.
And yeah, now Yato's just ahead to literally everything. Oh, we got a troll,
Game
12 no key
yeah,
click. Let's
now
go.
clicking the goal while he has to wait for the cycle. Yato now just a short 5 shines away from Delfino Rocket
Yeah, and he's
and
gonna have the turbo, so we can just like do instant underbell and all that good stuff.
is in a very strong position to win this now, unfortunately for game.
And unfortunately for all of us who wanted a game 3 tonight.
Yeah, just kind of surprising that game didn't value Delfino Rocket more.
I mean, he saw that he was first to pin by a lot.
Yeah.
Like with all the stuff Yato clicked, it's like, all right, he clearly was never focusing deep pin up. But then he went quiet for a while, and he just got to make the call, you know, like, hey, that could have been Yato seeing that it's all coming down to Delfino Rocket.
Yeah, and also it's like if you lose for Serena, I still don't think that's terrible because then it's just a Bianca Shadow Mario race, which I mean, kind of comes down to RNG and gameplay on Bianca 6, but that seems significantly better than being down
The
3
same.
shines because of blues in a Delfino Rocket race. And even trading in would have at least helped him pre Serena. Put him at 25 here instead of this, and now being down by 2 and a trade. So this is definitely Yato's game to lose at this rate unless something very devastating happens between now and Delfino Rocket plus 80 totals.
Has Yato gotten Beach Shine?
Don't believe
Beach Shine's
so.
pretty good.
But I
Big
also
fan.
haven't
It's
really
pretty
been paying
fast.
attention to Delfino.
I mean, it's fine because like Yato has a 2 shine lead, so
Yeah.
and he only needs like the easiest Delfino shines.
Yeah, like box game 1, 2, and Chuckster would be what he needs for 30. So if he doesn't already have a Chuckster, game traded in, got the turbo, got underbell. So needs 4 more shines and a rocket grab. Yato looking for 2 more shines and a rocket grab. Yeah, tough game. A heartbreaker for gamestabled fans since game honestly only saw 15 gelato, 15 delfino, and 50 totals in the last like 15 minutes. So it's kind of hard to know what Yato's doing other than blues, which you already knew he was going to do blues anyways. So then it's like, okay, is he doing Serena or is he doing Delfino shots to get to Pinna slash Delfino to get to my Delfino rocket? So
Like, I know I
30.
can't type GG after Delfino Rocket, but like,
You really want it. Because we get to watch Yato get 27 more blues, excuse me, but yeah,
this is
kind of
100% the correct game-winning call, but it is also painful to watch.
tragic that the game stabled chose Serena first, but it's definitely understandable, especially when you just don't know what Yato's doing.
Yeah, I mean, like, he clearly, like, he knew the choice was secure Serena or secure Delfino Rocket, and, you know, just made it the wrong 50-50 call there.
Yep. So Delfino Rocket for Yato, and just now needs to go on a blue coin adventure to get 60 and 80 totals. Meanwhile, Game Stabled is at a sum of less than 30. So needs to make up more than 30 blues off Yato.
Entering episode 5. There are more blues in episode 5, but getting Village Blues kind of
Ooh,
sucks.
all 2 more blues that are also not in great spots. Well, one of them is in a good spot, but the other one isn't.
Yeah, the NPC is in a slightly better spot, but it doesn't even matter that much since game's getting the pokey, so like, that's basically like the midpoint between the two NPC spots.
Yeah, and you know, this coming down to game not picking up blues also hardens the fact that maybe it was worth picking up at least the ones in your face along the way. And then maybe you'd be down by, 15, 10 to 15 instead of 30, which is a little bit more manageable depending on the levels you go to.
Yeah, maybe, but I can also understand, like, when you win like the early game races, and
Yeah.
your plan A game plan is like just working.
Yeah.
Win hiddens, win reds. It's hard to like start thinking, maybe I should hedge for blues.
Mhm. I think game probably should have considered picking up 5 reds pre-Pinna, if not 8 episodes. I mean, 8 episodes is hard because you saw the 2 rockets click, so you knew you were
Yeah,
down by a Rico 2.5 and a Rico 3, but you finished Pachinko and you were only like a tall grass or a lily pad away, which then makes row 1 significantly more in your favor with
yeah.
your
Five
hidden
reds
lead.
was sneaky pivotal for sure.
Yeah. Game seeing the 60 totals click and goes, there is no chance, not a snowball's chance in hell that I can make up 60 or 50 blues from where I am.
What if Yato just
Yato,
falls a bunch in Noki though? You never know.
Yato,
What if he
Yato,
dies?
he would need to go crash on the Noki 1 blue and throw his memory card away. Game stabled saying he in Bingo Sync chat that he only has 30 blues, so he's gonna call it with an FF here. So Yato winning row control 2-2 would have been a 3-2. So congratulations to Yato for being the Bingo Super Mario Sunshine Bingo League Season 3 Division 3 champion.
What a journey.
Huge glow up story from Season 1. Absolutely insane. We'll see if we can get both of our competitors in for an interview if they so choose. hello, gamestabled. GG's on the match, a very close match indeed.
Hello, GG.
And we'll see if Yato wishes to join us here.
So we can talk about it more once he's in here, but we basically just did the same thing the whole game. Right?
Oh yeah, you guys
Pretty
basically
much.
had the same route until
Especially the first half.
Yeah,
So
the first
about-
half we did
yeah.
the same thing. I now regret opening Rico before doing Pachinko so much. Because he didn't, I think, and so
Yes,
he won
that's
4
true.
reds.
That's true. Although I feel like 4 reds didn't even matter. Like I thought 4 reds was great information for you. I thought 5
Yes.
reds hurt a lot more.
Hello, Yato.
Yeah.
Congratulations on your victory, and congratulations on being the Division 3 champion this year.
Thanks.
GG Yato. Very
GG.
fun matches today.
Oh yeah, these two matches
Um,
were so great to play, honestly.
Yeah, game 1 in draft was at 13-12, a very close match. This one, a 2-2 with a would have been a 3-2, with just in one different call from gamestabled would have ended up with this in his favor. This match, you guys definitely just like started the same stuff for the first 30 minutes of the match.
Yeah.
The Bianco 4 was a sad thing.
Oh yeah, game, you shouldn't have won that. Yato tapped the hover,
Oh no.
so he had
Yeah,
to
I-
exit area.
And
It took me a
I
long
commit the
time
mis-
to get up to PD.
Yeah. And I get like a little mistake of it, like, damn, why I did that. So I exit the area, but then after that I thought like, what if I don't exit the area, I will be ahead on reds or hidden probably.
Yeah,
Oh,
October and I mentioned that you probably should have just done Beyond for 3 reds at that point, but it's also
No,
just
yeah.
like it's very instant when you want to go, I want to do Beyond 4 hoverless, and you accidentally
Yeah.
tap the hover, and you
And
go,
what's
oh,
a
I have to
rage,
exit area
honestly.
for 3. It definitely, it makes sense. It's not your fault. It happens to everyone. Like, it definitely is like as soon as you hit exit area, you're like, dang it, I should have just done Beyond 3 reds, and then I could have done Beyond 4 after. But, yeah, from there, you both went to Gelato. Yato ended up not doing the hidden, the sand hidden. So just did Gelato 1 and Gelato 1R in the time that game did all 3. Yato made the call to do Pachinko pre-Rico Open, which game did it after Rico Open, which that would have been close since both of the entries were not first try and then having some difficulty climbing up the coins. So that was really close. Yato had a travesty of a Rico 3 and had 49 yellow coins.
yeah, that was horrible. It was like I finished the shine and I saw the counter like 49 and I was like, no.
Oh no.
Oh, I thought you made that decision consciously because you were worried about 8 episodes.
No, I thought in my mind I had the 50, the 50
Oh
yellow coins.
no.
So when I touched the Rico 3, I was like, no, my god, I will lose this goal probably because of that.
And
And then I try again to get the goal doing 50 gelato, and then you clicked the goal, I think, and I was like, damn, if I only did one more coin.
Wow.
so
Yeah. Episodes was super awkward because I was like, I'm doing all these level shines. Why don't I have any episodes?
we wanted to ask about that game since you did Rico 1 with 50, which from my mind I thought it would have been better for you to just rush Rico 3 plus 50 with Rocket, or Rico 2 50 into Rico 3. But aside from that, you did Rico 1 with 50, you went to Open Penna, and you went back to Rico.
I was so after the 4 reds click, I knew that we had been doing the same thing the entire game.
Yeah.
And so I was freaking out trying to think of what do I do with this info, and like couldn't like, you
couldn't
know,
pick
I
one.
just started doing shit.
Yeah. Had you done Rico 3 and 4, it actually would have been pretty close for episodes since Yato spent about a minute and a half picking up only 49 coins.
Yeah, 49 coins. Let's go.
It was, from Tober and I perspective though, it would have been like an insane call since you're halfway through Rico 2 and you see 2 rockets clicked, so you go, oh no, that's Rico 3, so I'm down a shine and a half, so episodes is probably not in my favor.
Yeah.
A huge call though for MrYhatoh was to do Tall Grass before entering Pinna and solidifying 5 reds, since had you gotten 5 reds game, you were super well set for 6 hiddens, and then it would be like a Noki Blues race. Did you ever consider doing 5 reds pre-Pinna, or were you just going to land on it with Pinna 3R or Pinna 2R?
Yeah, I considered it. It's just not the choice I made.
Gotcha. And then
it probably looked like I was trying to be clever with the Noki Blues thing in row 1. I just forgot row 1 was still on the card. And then I was like, wait, I literally could have won row 1 if I went for it. If I just committed blues, and I probably have 1 more hidden than Yato does, is sort of how I was feeling about it. I didn't actually count. That was just my gut.
Correct. Yato has 3 hiddens, and you have 5 right now. Because
yeah,
Goldberg,
so then I was like, wow, I probably should have, like, I could have gone for row 1. I counted it out too early.
For sure. Did you ever think about doing blues, since it kind of looked like you were just mostly avoiding them?
I was mostly avoiding them.
Okay.
My plan was always to just like pray for Delfino Rocket, and I didn't know that he had done Pinna.
Okay, that was a funny decision.
It was a good one.
Yeah, it was a good decision at the end, but was like in my perspective was like an all-in basically, because after losing after losing like Bianco 4 flawless and the tragedy of Rico 3 49 coins,
Yeah.
and my progress, I was like, okay, my only win con is getting Delfino target. That in row 4. That was my win condition. So it was like, yeah, and I was like, okay, if I win blues but I don't win Delfino Rocket, it will be like for nothing collecting the blues. So yeah, my decision was that. It was like, I bet an all-in, basically collecting coins in my way, but honestly, if I win Delfino Rocket, I can win blues. That was my thought.
Yeah. It was really hard for Game to know to protect Delfino Rocket instead of Serena, since for 15 minutes all he had was 15 Gelato Blues, 15 Delfino Blues, and 50 totals, which is like,
yeah,
cool, you did blues. What do I do with that information?
Yeah, I didn't click like something that give Game more information about it.
Really hard with information.
Yeah, I should have realized that Delfino Rocket was also his win con. Like, if I thought about it from his perspective, it makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. I should have done it sooner.
Last thing I want to ask about really quick, Game. Why did you... I don't want to be like rude about this, but like, why did you go to the boathouse with 20 blues Z menu and then dip to do Serena 4?
I don't know. I was thinking, okay, I'll trade and get the turbo, and then I was like, wait, I don't have enough for the turbo. I can't do this yet. So then I went back to Serena and I was like, why didn't I just trade them anyway? I'm not gonna get more. Yeah, so it was like a weird brain moment.
I was trying to justify it, but Tober was like, no, there's no justifying this.
No, I was trying to justify it. I was like, I mean, I thought Game was basically trying to decide between whether it's more important to... Like he's basically trying to figure out what has Yato been doing. Yeah. He's either been in Serena or been in Pinna, and he guessed Serena.
That's true.
And then the answer was Pinna and also Pianta.
Yeah, the MrYhatoh 1 and 2 kind of threw us off a little bit, Yato, but it made sense since you were picking up blues. MrYhatoh 2 was probably not necessary, but it worked out anyways, since you had so many more blues than Game did, so you overpowered his shine count at the end. It was about
that was my that was my bet. I was like, I get more blues, I can collect more shines at the end.
But yeah, I think that's all we had, unless you guys have anything else. But congratulations to YachToh once again for being the Division 3 champion of the Super Mario Sunshine Big League Season 3, and congratulations to gamestabled for becoming number 2 in Division 3 this year.
A very good opponent
Very
in the finals. Was
and both of these matches were very close. So.
Yeah, was so nice. And the game is so it's a tough opponent, and I liked both matches.
Yeah, it's always fun to play.
Thanks everyone for watching. Go raid Pinkish, and we'll be back tomorrow at 11 p.m. Eastern for the first game of the Division 2 finals between Mason and myself.
Let's go.
So, thanks for watching. Have a good one.